Hello, fellow travelers, and welcome to Mercurius Being. I'm Amy Jensen here with your astro update for the Virgo new moon, which will be exact on September 20. Nope, not September 24th, September 14th at 8:40 p.m. Central Time in the U.S. And this is what the chart looks like in my neck of the woods. And then please adjust accordingly to wherever you are. But as you can see, we have a similar configuration to the last lunation in that we have all of the closer planets from Mars to Mercury to the moon, of course, right near the sun. And then we have all the outer planets over on the other part of the chart. So we have all the outer planets in retrograde: Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, Chiron, Jupiter, and Uranus, all in retrograde, and everything on the opposite side of the chart is going forward. Even Mercury, who is stationed direct at this lunation, just a week past its inferior or interior conjunction with the sun, which was exact on September 6th. And then the max morning elongation morning star Mercury will be September 22nd for Mercury. So this lunation is just smack in the middle of that. Virgo lunation, Virgo new moon, Mercury, the ruler of Virgo. So just really having an opportunity over this last period of time to get into the Virgo segment of our charts, and any planets we have in that area, or any planets or points that square or oppose Virgo have been activated. So it's just been a very heightened Virgo time. Another thing I'm going to mention before I dig in more to the Virgo, the Venus at this lunation is at 14 degrees Leo, 24 minutes. And just when I picked up the chart, so this, I didn't really follow the thread a lot, but I got this resonant wave of energy from Leo, Venus Leo at almost 15 degrees, or basically 15 degrees Leo, fixed sign, a resonant wave to 15 degrees Scorpio, which will be coming up obviously in Scorpio season, which is a cross quarter day. So there's like this energy of laying the groundwork for the cross quarter energy that's coming up when the sun hits 15 degrees Scorpio, which is usually around November 7th, 8th-ish. And Venus at this lunation has a sextile to Mars, which is in Libra, and Venus rules Libra. So we have a nice back and forth energy between the masculine and the feminine, and Mars being in the sign of Libra, being forced to compromise and to be in an airy position, which is not Mars's favorite. But maybe having Mars be kind of a gentleman in this position and kind of like bowing down to his goddess, Venus, in Leo. And in Leo, Venus again is showing up and just showing her light and her ornaments and her adornment. So at this time also of the lunation, we have Venus being squared by Jupiter. It's a very tight square, 0 degrees, 59 minutes applying. And Jupiter is at 15 degrees Taurus, again, which will be opposing that cross quarter day, 15 degrees Scorpio in November. And then Chiron is trining Venus. So this is just this opportunity for us all to heal and really move into whatever gender one is or how one identifies with the inner feminine, receptive, embodied energy of Venus in Leo. And I talked quite a bit about that in the last video, so you can go back and refer to that. Anyway, so I'm just kind of getting this little ding as far as prep time. I guess I'm going to continue going this way and then I'll switch gears because I was looking at also the sun and moon form a grand trine to Pluto in Capricorn and Uranus in Taurus. And then it has, the new moon has an opposition to Neptune in Pisces. So when you have a grand trine, the energies between those planets or points is really a very flowing and harmonious energy, but sometimes you can't really do anything with it because it's just very self-contained. It's literally a triangle in the chart. The Neptune opposition to the new moon is a way out, to bring the energy out of that, and a way into that energy. All of these outer planets in retrograde, I got this image of like big gears or big machinery, like backing up and recalibrating, like doing dirt work on a huge road construction project. Those really big pieces of equipment that are moving lots and lots of earth. So kind of having this image of like the collective and the many, okay, the many and the collective are going to utilize this huge path that's being formed. But it's time for us to pull into the other segment of the chart between Mars and Venus and work on those inner planets, the more personal energy of those, because they are going ahead. They're kind of this idea of getting right with oneself so that the big machinery doesn't plow us over. Okay, so we make progress. We're staying ahead of that formation, but also the idea that the big road work and foundation, the energies represented by Pluto transformation, let me just go down the list, Saturn consolidation foundation, Neptune inspiration, spiritualization, Chiron moving into that wounded part of ourselves, Jupiter expansion, Uranus innovation, disruption, eruption, and again, these are just some quick keywords, but all of those big planets in retrograde, that's also symbolizing the internal work we're doing on that, on those energies, and the planets between Mars and Venus in this lunation, again, moving ahead with those, and then recalibrating to the bigger collective energies, if that makes sense. Okay. I'm going to back up and read the Sabian symbol for this lunation. So the lunation is at 21 Virgo 58 minutes. And so I'm on a Lynda Hill streak from this book. We round up to 22 Virgo, a royal coat of arms, enriched with precious stones. The oracle reading for this is: there is a strong connection to heritage, one's lineage, and ancestors. This can give rise to feelings of pride and honor. There are things to stand up for and to represent. Being true to your heritage or beliefs will empower you with strength and stability. There can be the appearance or the impression of wealth, no matter what the actual financial status. There is a need to project a sense of nobility of character, pride, and confidence, as adopting these strengths will see you through this situation. Sometimes someone believes that they're above everyone else and they lord it over others, believing they have a God-given right to be in charge, bully, or call the shots. In situations of trouble, difficulty, or betrayal, in fact, any challenging emotion, falling back on a belief of your own royalty, combined with a good sense of self-worth and who you are, will help you get through with grace and without incurring bad blood or enemies, or letting yourself down. Displaying markings of noble status and bearing, even if this is just in your behavior, can lead others to see and believe in your beauty, talent, and worth. And in this lovely book, she always has a list of quotes from many different sources. And I'm just going to read a couple of these because they popped out at me as I looked this degree up. The first one from Plato, Every king springs from a race of slaves, and every slave has had kings among his ancestors. And another from Duke Ellington. There are quite a few. I'm just editing as I go. So Duke Ellington. My mother told me I was blessed, and I've always taken her word for it. Being born of or reincarnated from royalty is nothing like being blessed. Royalty is inherited from another human being. Blessedness comes from God. And then another from Plutarch. It is indeed a desirable thing to be well descended, but the glory belongs to our ancestors. So I am moving from that, not according to the plan that I had written, but on the fly, as y'all all know I like to do, to the nakshatra, the area of the heavens where this lunation occurs. And it ties in with the ancestor energy. So the energy, the nakshatra is Uttara Phalguni, and it's the second half of a two-part nakshatra. It has more of the masculine or the centrifugal energy, we would say, symbolized by 4 legs of the cot. The ruling deity is Aryama, and it's ruled by the sun. And the sun signifies creation and carries with it the knowledge of our individual karma. And I'll put these note sources at the bottom. This is from Komilla, Sutton. I know I've got a little Julene Louis here and a little DiCara as well. And then on my own take on it. So kind of all mixed in there. So the Shakti, or the power of this, the energy of this area of the heavens, is the power of wealth from union and through marriage. So this nakshatra, the first quarter, like the first 3 degrees, 20 minutes, is Leo, sign of royalty. And then the other chunk of it, 3/4 that remain, is Virgo, service. So this nakshatra, this area of the heavens, allows one to realize and recognize one's own failings as well as restrictions imposed on it by its limited destiny in this life. So the 4 legs of the cot, which is the symbol for this nakshatra, represent the sexual energy of the soul, the downward flowing energy of power, and each leg represents the sheaths of the soul and how they become entangled through the physical, the etheric, the astral, and the mental energies. Through this nakshatra, we also realize we are nothing more than a fragment of the whole universe, part of the cosmic law, kind of stuck in our earthly existence and feeling like we can't quite reach the sky. So to me, this has this energy of really bringing us down into the world, into the physical, into the cross of material, and really through marriage and union, basically earthly relationships, which draw us into the dance of life and deeper into the web of karma. Virgo represents the discernment and the vigilance to stay in the experience of weaving and crafting and enjoying the act of creating, serving, mentoring, being mentored, enjoying being part of a wisdom line, an ancestral line, in which we each participate authentically and confidently, not less than, not still good enough, but vibrantly engaged with the process of life as the process of life. The ruling deity, Aryama, functions like a well-wishing ancestor who protects us in difficult times, really like a foremost well-wisher and protector. And Aryama literally means dear friend. In the Rig Veda, Aryama brings enjoyment even in the face of difficulties. And this nakshatra makes relationships especially beautiful and enjoyable, easing disagreements and promoting accord, harmony, and felicity. So finding joy amidst difficulty and connection to our ancestors and to being part of something bigger as we experience this individuality and this individual nature of our individual service as well. Virgo rules the small intestine. It's literally the mind in the gut, because Virgo is the masculine half of the Vishuddha chakra, and Vishuddha means perfectly pure. And in Virgo, there is a lot of purity and perfection. We can move in that direction. Gemini is in the other half. Both of these are ruled by Mercury, okay? So Mercury rules the mind, and then in Virgo, ruling the small intestine, it is literally the mind in the gut. And I have a quote from Jason Horsley, unrelated to this, but talking about things in general, how the mind may mistake something for candy, but the body knows poison when it tastes it. So it's trusting those gut instincts. And really, at a new moon, this is a time to set intentions, to reset our internal clocks. Virgo and its association with the 6th house has a lot to do with daily habits, daily service, diets. How are you serving yourself? How are you serving others? Are you doing this in a healthy manner? Are you overdoing service and not taking care of yourself, which isn't serving anyone, right? So Mercury being retrograde in Virgo over these last few weeks, we have been reviewing these Virgoan issues. We've been crafting and reworking, refining and analyzing, and really going into a detailed kind of really almost a devotional sense of service and devoting ourselves into a sense of greater purpose, something bigger than ourselves. But bringing it down again to our individuality, making it a unique and authentic service. Medically, Virgo rules the small intestines, digestive enzymes, the splitting and purifying function of the liver, the enteric nervous system, which is the network of nerves surrounding the esophagus, the stomach, and the intestines, and medically directly linked to the brain. The diaphragm, which separates the upper and the lower body, the spleen. Virgo health problems are anxiety and nervous tension, digestive problems, liver function problems, breathing difficulties. I don't know if you can hear, have had some breathing difficulties this week. Really odd. Hernias of the diaphragm. It's even before the weather changed here, it was still like super hot. Again, I think the body can sense the seasonal change before the actual weather changed. So again, really tuning into that, this Virgo season, but also the Mercury retrograde in Virgo season, giving us this opportunity to realize what are your cycles of energy. And again, the dietary changes, sleep changes, everything, like how are you functioning in your body? Okay, and not up here, but down in your gut, like how is this really working for you? Okay, I thought this was interesting as I read this again, because the liver is ruled by Jupiter and Jupiter is ruled by Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is one of the mutable signs. It squares Virgo. It's more the big picture thinking, and Virgo is more about the detailed, analytical, discerning, really crafting and taking things apart energy. So maybe the Virgo overwhelm is that you're too wrapped up in the little pieces and the details, or you're trying to rein in all of this bigness and reorganize it. Or is it the bigness caused by the Pisces, the opposition from Neptune and Pisces, which is the ocean of existence? And it's like, is that washing everything out? And here's poor Virgo trying to like rein in all the oceans, right? Bringing form to the oceans in a very detailed manner, in like by constructing a boat, that sounded very Minnesotan, made of toothpicks, taking all of that water and trying to put it together like that, or trying to, you know, form a structure with toothpicks. Or the Gemini airiness, okay? All of the Gemini air, all of the Pisces water, all of the Sagittarius fire and belief. And here's Virgo, an earth sign, just trying to make it work, like trying to bring all this together and formulate a plan that makes sense, that's logical, that works. That not only works, but works a little bit better, okay? So, the shadow Virgo. So all of those are beautiful Virgo qualities. The shadow Virgo, perfectionism, poster child for perfectionism, Virgo is, okay? Too much service, chronic crafting, never gets it done because it's always getting reworked. Guilt, harsh asceticism. So those are all the shadow Virgos energy. But the medicine, and I'm going to look at just quickly the Hermit card and the Magician card. The medicine for all of that is mentoring, sharing what you have within you, seeking a mentor if you need some guidance, if you need to receive some teaching, offering oneself in healthy service, doing what you can. Can't do it all, but what can you do? Sharing what you do without crafting it to the nth degree, so all the life force is out of it. And offering yourself as you are and not what you think you should be. Showing up in process, in humility and in usefulness, and not in servitude, not in bowed, oh, I'm not good enough, continually moving along that line of servitude, which is inauthentic and unaligned, really, with who you really are, okay? So one can only serve life by being centered in yourself, by being centered in your wholeness, in this earthly experience, all that is drawing those energies down within you, and each our own little container of karma, of our own blessed karma that we have, and realizing that we are in this very, very human container of mind and body and spirit and soul, that we are still perfect in this realm of imperfection, and perfect imperfection, and perfect perfection. And as I was writing this, I was thinking about, that brought to mind the Purnam mantra, Purnam Adam. Already screwed it up. Purnam Ada, Purnam Idam, Purnat, Purnam Udachyate, Purnasya, Purnam Adaya, Purnam Eva Vashishyate, which means that is perfect, full and complete, and this is perfect, full and complete. From fullness, removing fullness from fullness, only fullness and wholeness remains. So the error, the erroneous thinking, the shadow Virgo, is that it is not already complete. Virgo is the process. Perfecting and discerning, big Virgo energy of the competent, confident craftsperson, process-oriented, living and unfolding into life, experiencing the dance of life as a continual spirograph, tracing and retracing, adding and subtracting, editing, creating, and recreating, but fully involved and evolving with the process of life. which is always changing and evolving and in process. So really, that big Virgo energy is so tied up with that big Pisces energy in that way, but just looking at it from a different lens, you are all perfect, whole, and complete as we are in process. Just like life is perfect, whole, and complete, the woods are. As they're in process, soon it'll be just a bunch of decay around me. And that is beautiful, and that's part of the process. So why would any part of ourselves that's in process not be perfect as well? So on that note, I am going to leave us. The Hermit card is associated with Virgo, and the Magician card is associated with Mercury. But I think I'm just going to leave you on that thought of being in process. Until next time.